It's October, theoretically. It's time for spooky shit. That's what we get down with here during the Halloween era of Paprika Man, and it's time for yet another draft, the penultimate draft of the year. We're finally doing a horror movies draft, a genre yours truly knows nothing about. It's me, your boy, Steve, the host of all the stuff right here, most of the stuff right here on Paprika. We have a couple of people who fancy themselves lovers of the horror genre doing the drafting. I am just host, and I will kick back and let these ladies run the show here. So our contestants for today are 4 draftees. We have one of the hosts of Refried Scenes, Miss Mia Davis. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I am fantastic. I can't wait to talk about horror movies with these fellow women that really appreciate horror movies as well.
Scary to me. All right, we also have the other host of Refried Scenes, the one that's been keeping the candle burning, Miss Carol Coles. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I like that this is an all-female draft. This is we're gonna get some interesting movies.
I think we are. I know Leslie, who's also here. I know she's a big fan, and I know you're a big fan, Carol. And I was like, I see the makings of something nefarious happening, which is how this panel came together. Leslie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. And finally, we have Miss Jessica White. Jessica, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, and I am excited for my second draft.
Yeah, that's right. We still have waiting in the wings one draft in December we've already recorded with myself, Carol, and some other people as well, the comedy draft. So there are many possibilities as to who all's winning what for the rest of the year. Leslie, you've already got one under your belt. Carol, you've got one. Jessica, you've got one. Mia still searching for gold. This could be the one. I have faith. That's what I'm rooting for this whole time. So no biases over here.
Thank you for believing in me.
Before we get into this, man, we got to figure out what our draft order is going to be. I have this handy little, obviously, those of you listening can tell we are not in the studio for this because the studio has raised their prices like some dicks. So we're doing this over Zoom, man. We have a nice little randomizer wheel with each of your names on there to figure out who was going first, and spinning the wheel. The number 1 draftee will be... right on the edge there. It's Mia, actually.
I'm number 1.
Yeah, strange.
That means I win.
I'm not exactly sure that's what that means, but
that was a short recording. What's that?
Yeah, good night, everybody. Number 2 is Leslie Ellsworth.
Woo!
Woo. Let's see what number 3 is. It looks like it's going to be, and it lands on Mia again. We don't want that.
Hey, she got 2.
That doesn't seem fair at all.
This is how I win, by unfair rules.
Whatever it takes to. Okay, there we go. Number 3 is Carol, and number 4 is Jessica, who has the turn at the end of the snake. This is a snake draft. So those of you who are not familiar with how these drafts go, it will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1, so on and so forth, until all of you lovely ladies have picked 10 horror movies. It's all on the board: slashers, thrillers, the supernatural shit, all the stuff that makes you watch through your fingertips while you're watching the movie. That's what's on the board. If it's on Shudder, it's probably going to be a possibility on here. Are you all ready? Before we get started, Carol, I've talked to you about the nature of scary movies and whatnot before a couple of years ago. Let's talk to a couple of the other ladies first. Jessica, what is it about scary movies that appeals to you?
I have loved them my entire life. I mean, going back to being a very small kid and my parents letting me watch very inappropriate movies. I've always loved them. As soon as I started watching scary movies, I used to buy copies of Fangoria magazine, which was all about like the effects in movies and movies that were coming out. And I used to just devour them cover to cover. And even to this day, I love them. And I love going to haunted events. And I love the scary stuff.
It's something I will never understand in my life. Leslie, what about you? You are big into the scaries. What is it about the scaries that what is the fun in being scared?
I was gonna use that as why I like scary movies, because it's fun to feel scared. I think there's just sort of a fascination with the macabre in general, and it's a way to sort of explore that and experience that while also knowing you're safe. So like, I enjoy going to haunted houses. I enjoy that adrenaline rush, when the creepy guys pop out at you or they're chasing you or whatever. I love that because I know they're not going to touch me. I know they're not going to catch me. I know I'm actually safe. But I still get that, that endorphin boost, that adrenaline rush. And I don't like I'm going to say my dad didn't have us watching horror movies when we were little, but we did watch like sci-fi movies and stuff that were on the scary side. So sort of started young and branched off from there.
Oh, right on, right on. And what about you, Mia? What is it about scary movies that you're like, yes, let's do this? Keep me awake at all hours.
Well, according to my therapist, I've got a lot of this. Back to both what Jessica and Leslie have said. I was born in 1980, so I was kind of raised. My parents worked different shifts, so HBO was like usually my babysitter, and that was when slasher movies were coming out and they were going straight to home box office. So I watched a lot of Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and all those slashers at the time, and they were fun. But there's also this aspect of, psychologically, I would rather be scared than sad, because when the movie's over, well, unless it's like really late at night and I hear a creepy noise in the house. When the movie's over, I'm not scared anymore, but a sad movie is going to stay with me a while. So I feel safe while I'm watching it, and there's just that fun aspect of it.
Right on, right on. Okay. Well, that being said, let's get to it. Miss Mia, the floor is yours. Where are we going first?
Okay, I am gonna start it off. I'm not gonna pick any of the classics right away. I'm picking by rewatchability. What my number one is more of a modern movie. Jordan Peele put it out. Get Out.
Oh, starting early with Get Out. What makes Get Out such a rewatchable movie for you?
The writing in that movie is just so good. I don't get tired of it. I've seen it a few times. I pick up different things each time I see it. It's quotable. I think everybody has lived a piece of that movie, whether it's like the altercation where the police pulls the couple over, or you're going to your partner's house to meet their family, and they might be a little racist.
Okay.
So there's
yes, we've all experienced that, I'm sure. Yes.
well,
Yeah. As far as the Peele movies that we've got 3 as of now. Is Get Out still rating at top?
I haven't seen Dope yet.
Nope.
What now? Sorry,
No.
no. I haven't seen
Dope
Nope.
was like 2017.
And I thought about putting The other one, what's the other one called?
Us.
Us.
I thought about putting that on my list for a long time, but I think Get Out is just more rewatchable.
Agreed. Carol, as far as the three peels we've gotten so far, where is Get Out ranking amongst those?
It's still his best film.
Yeah.
I have seen Nope. Nope is better than Us, but it's not nearly as good as Get Out.
Agreed.
What have you seen Nope, Jessica? Did we lose Jessica? Are you there?
Just for a second, I'm sorry about that. It was, did I see Get Out?
Did you see Nope?
I have seen Nope. I agree with Carol. I would put Get Out at number 1, Nope at number 2, and then Us at number 3.
Man, nobody likes Us but me. I'm alone on this island
like
over here.
Us.
Oh, I liked it.
Us.
Yeah.
I
just-
enjoyed. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying, I just don't think it ends as well as his other two films.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. I agree. I think seeing Us in the theater, I want to say I was much more tense and just like suspenseful than with Nope. But I feel like the plot of Nope holds up better than Us.
Right
Can
on.
I just say, however, that can Winston Duke's thighs get their own movie?
Yes. I second that nomination.
Just college sweatshirts and thighs is all that you're gonna see in that movie.
I have no problem with that.
All right, strong first pull there with Get Out. Well done, Mia. All right, Miss Leslie, it is over to you, ma'am. What is your
That would
first
be
pick?
Mrs. Leslie.
Oh,
Thank
sorry.
you very much.
Mrs. Leslie, what is your first pick?
I too am going with a more modern pick. Some of you who know me may be able to guess. Midsummer,
Mm.
2019 by Ari Aster. Ari, I'm not sure.
Ari.
Ari.
It's Ari? I think it's Ari.
Yeah, I've heard
Um,
Ari.
I'll
but-
call
I loved it. Immediately empathized with Danny in the very beginning, not with the murdered family. My family is all okay.
him. Okay, good.
But with the with the relationship aspect, not trusting herself, not trusting her feelings, making herself smaller because she thinks she's too much for her boyfriend. So that just sort of really toxic aspect I empathized with. And I loved the trippy nature of it. I loved that it was so fucking creepy, but mostly, bright daylight, lots of white color. Just really enjoyed it. So yeah. That's my first. Wasn't so great with the body horror aspect. Our first showing of it with the cliff, but the rest of it I was good with.
Jessica, is this a movie you checked out? Did you check out this horrible bright daylight ass scary shit?
I have not. Actually, it's funny. Leslie and I had a date to watch it. She was going to watch it with me because I've really wanted to watch it. It's definitely on my list, but that still has not happened. So no, I haven't seen it.
I'll
Yeah.
take you on that midsummer date. I love that movie.
It's
So do I.
fucking awesome.
What
I
the
love
what,
really,
Love
really good.
Florence Pugh.
what is it about the movie that you love so much, Mia?
That it is bright. It's because it's just not the same setting that you expect. And then there are imagery that provide the foreshadowing of the movie. And I think that's very clever. I was a big fan of Hereditary, his first movie.
Ooh.
So I think I'm an Ari Aster fan.
Same.
If you've ever seen any of his short films,
Yeah.
Oh,
he's excellent. So yeah,
Is Ari Aster like one of the new voices of horror? Is he
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
torchbearers right now?
yeah. I think him and Robert Eggers, although Eggers is less horror specific, but they're two directors where I'll watch anything they make.
Yeah.
Just because they're interesting.
I love you
Yeah.
some Bobby Eggs. He makes some good stuff out there.
Bobby eggs.
Get my man Bobby Eggs. All right, Carol, where are you going first for your first pick?
Okay, I'm gonna choose my favorite. I'm going with John Carpenter's The Thing.
No.
And the wailing and gnashing of teeth has begun. What is it
But
about the thing?
I'm sorry. I think Carol's feed is
Did I break up?
flipping out.
It sounds like she said Scooby Doo from 1995. That's what I'll write down.
Scary movie. She said scary movie.
What I know of your love and affinity for the thing. I'm not sure if it's a love and affinity for John Carpenter or specifically the thing or both.
I think he's very talented. I think this is his best work. It's a shame that it failed so miserably in the box office. But it is a case study in paranoia. And the effects hold up 40 years later. And damn, I just said 40 years. This movie is 40 years old. And I feel like I need to take a couple ibuprofen. And but yeah, I think it's one of those weird 80s movies where everything holds up.
Thank you. Practical effects.
Yeah.
What do you get down on the thing as hard as Carol does here, Mia?
Oh yeah, that was going to be my next pick. She stole it from me.
Sniped.
Sniped.
You know, it is a classic, and it's still getting played at the retro and classic horror things in movie theaters, and still packing an audience. It's got a sci-fi element. It's got suspense. It's got a killer soundtrack. Pun intended.
I was just double checking to see if it's
It
one
has
of the ones
one of
that
the
are
best
sleeves.
performances by a dog I have ever seen. That dog just walking through the camp, monitoring what everyone is doing, is just, that is an excellent performance.
Excellent dog direction from John
Yes.
Carpenter. a secret hidden milk bone next to each one of the actors. Jessica, do you get down this old ass the best possible Keith David performance there is?
I absolutely do. This was also on my list. I love John Carpenter. He has had very few misses for me, but The Thing is definitely the number one out of anything that he's done.
I think it's number 2 for me, outside of Escape from New York, because I am a bastard Escape from New York fan. But I just watched The Thing for the first time maybe 4 years ago, and I'm happy to say I survived that experience.
Did we watch that for refight scenes?
We
Think so.
You and I did.
not.
Okay.
You two did. Yes.
Did
Yeah.
you watch it for your week of horror
No, I watched it.
or month of horror?
Just to watch
I
it?
watched it. Yeah, it was Halloween night, and it was a year where Halloween felt like on a random ass day. No one was out trick or treating, and I was like, I guess I'll watch something scary to honor it. I hadn't seen The Thing. Sat down, fired it up, and I was pleasantly surprised at how damn great that movie is. I just want to have a big bushy beard just so Frost can get stuck in it. All right, Jessica, you are up with your first of 2 as we end round 1, going in round 2.
Okay. Like I said in the intro, a lifelong horror fan ever since I was little. So I am taking it back, and I wanted to start with the one that started it all for me, which was Poltergeist.
Ooh.
Nice.
Nice.
Very
I can
nice.
remember my parents went to see Poltergeist in the movies, and of course I stayed home because I think I was about 6 years old. And probably by the next year, I think it was Mia that talked about the movies, like all the good horror movies being on HBO. It was probably only a year later that I saw this on cable. Just became obsessed with it. I mean, I loved it, but of course I was also terrified. I started tying my closet doors shut, and I don't even remember how long that lasted. I think until my mom screamed at me and sent me back to bed one night. But it's just a great movie, and it's also very highly rewatchable for me. and I continue to go back to it every year. And what has become kind of amusing for me is that as I continue to watch it, it means, it means something different every few years. I've gone from being, the scared 5-year-olds, and then the scared 8-year-old, and then now the parents. And I'm looking at this through parents' point of view, and it's just, it's still just a fantastic movie, and it still is enough to spook me, which is really saying something.
Looking at Poltergeist from a parent's point of view, if I'm Craig T. Nelson, I'm like, listen, we got 2 kids. We can let this one go. We got to get the fuck out of here.
That's not how that's supposed to work, honey.
Oh, it's not. Okay then. Well,
No,
you
that's
learn
actually
something new.
that's a really good point, and goes to what I was saying. Like, rewatching it now, when it jumps from after she gets abducted to months later, weeks later, however long it is, you can tell that this family has continued to live in this house, suffering through absolute torture this entire time, just not unable to go to the police and say, hey, our 5-year-old daughter went missing in the house. So it's just it's just really, it's amazing how every rewatch I could just discover something new.
What is it about this movie you dig, Leslie?
Was that sorry, you're quite kind of quiet. What was that?
What is it about this movie that you dig?
Me.
Yeah.
So the first thought that always comes to mind isn't actually the movie itself. My dad has a picture of my sister and I. We were both, very small, sitting maybe a couple feet in front of the TV. And in real life, the TV was, playing like Mr. Rogers or something. But in the picture, from the angle, it looks kind of blank and fuzzy. And so he said it always creeps him out, and it always makes him think of Poltergeist.
Yeah.
So that's one of the first things I associate it with, is just sort of like creepy family picture. But I don't know. I like the supernatural aspect of it. The idea that there are ghosts and they could be nice, but oh wait, they're not. And the idea that how we treat our dead, how we treat human remains, the respect or the disrespect that we show them can affect your life. I always thought that was interesting as well. And one of the creepiest scenes when they're in the pool and yeah, great times.
Mia, is this movie an early case study of people not getting the fuck out when they should have got the fuck out earlier?
Definitely, but you can understand why they made the choices they made.
I cannot understand why they made the choice.
He works for the company. He works for the realtor company. He has to stay there.
The moment I turn around and all my chairs are stacked up on my kitchen table, I no longer have a kitchen. I'm leaving.
We're at a hotel. Come to the hotel. I'll explain.
Yeah, exactly. Would this be part of a Mia-thon rewatch of scary movies during October?
I would not put it on my list of ones to rewatch. Now, when I saw this the first time, I snuck downstairs and I was like watching it between the rails of the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably 4 years old and I was terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have seen it again since, but like, to me, it's when I think about Poltergeist, I am just taken back to that memory, and I'm like, this is really scary. I don't think I want to relive this.
You're correct. It was the first horror movie I ever saw at, I think, maybe 6 or 8, and it set me on this path of being a giant scary cat that I am now. All right, Jessica, start us off on round 2, ma'am. What's the first pick of round 2 going to be?
My first pick for round 2 is The Shining.
And that's the other one that fucked me up.
Is that a boo you don't agree, or boo I just snatched it from you?
Both.
Oh, why?
I'll let you talk about it first.
Why The Shining there, Jessica?
So just like Poltergeist, this is one that has been around my whole life. Yes, I was probably like 7 years old watching this movie, and all the language that it brings. But it spooked me then. As I got older, I actually found out that, Stephen King, because I love Stephen King, at least as far as his novels go. And Stephen King was not a fan of the movie at all. Just, I'm sure everybody here knows, the story behind it. And, he even tried to make his own miniseries, which just kind of fell right on its face horribly badly. The novel, I've read this novel a few times, and it's one of the few books that has genuinely scared me. Like, that's again saying something, because I don't get spooked easily, but just, The Shining, I mean, I know a lot of people could pick it apart nowadays and find a lot of flaws with it. Like even Stephen King said that, Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance was great, but his whole purpose was to show a regular father descending into madness. I think he said the moment Jack Nicholson first comes on screen, he just looks like he's absolutely out of his mind, which is true. But still, I think it's a performance, that I love. And this is another highly rewatchable movie for me.
Yes, yes, it is. Somehow I've seen this movie more than once and I'll never understand it. Leslie, what are your thoughts there on The Shining?
I complicated. So I have read the book and I did enjoy the book better than the film. I think it is a well done film. I take issue with some of the behind the scenes work, how poorly
Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall, thank you. I could remember Shelley and I couldn't remember her last name. How poorly and traumatically she was treated. And beyond that, I'm just not a fan of the maze and frozen Jack scene at the end. To me, his frozen body looks so fucking goofy and ridiculous that I just laugh. And it like takes away all of the tension. And granted, that's at the end anyway, but like that part, I'm just not a big fan. I do enjoy it. I would watch it again. I do think that it is a well done film and it's iconic as far as like the set goes, but yeah, I think it's a bit overrated.
Carol, would you
I
say
would
The
mind you,
Shining is overrated?
I was still gonna put it as a number 2 on my list because I know everybody else loves it, but a little bit overrated.
Carol, would you say it's overrated?
Well, I don't think it's overrated. It's like the best and worst adaptation of a Stephen King book that I've ever seen, because it's a terrible adaptation of the book, but it's a very, very good movie. I do have some issues watching it. Because Shelley Duvall was so poorly treated. But at the same time, he treated the young actor, and I can't remember, Danny Lloyd. He treated him so well, making sure that he didn't see anything horrific in this horrific movie. And he gets a really great performance out of him, which is good because Danny Lloyd decided he didn't want to be an actor. So I don't know if that had anything to do with The Shining, but it's one of those movies that I tend to watch every year around Halloween. But I have a little bit of guilt watching it because I know Shelley Duvall was just so poorly treated.
That she was, absolutely. The fact that the kid didn't realize The Shining was a horror movie, not until like when the movie came out, but years later.
Yeah.
It's somehow wild and fascinating to me. Mia, you got anything on The Shining?
The Shining, I love the movie The Shining. I watch it. That is one that I will rewatch over and over again. I wasn't going to put it on my list though because of how Shelley Duvall was treated during the filming of this.
All right, right on. And that is perfectly sensible to me. Carol, it is on you for your second pick, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to take The Exorcist.
Oh, some heavy hitters coming off this list now.
Yep. Not a fan of this.
So I was 6 when I first saw The Exorcist.
Yeah, a lot of things are starting to make sense here.
And I think it literally scared the pee out of me. And I couldn't watch it for years, like decades. I couldn't, because I'd get to the part where her head first turns around for the first time and she talks in Burke's voice. Did you see what the little cunt did? And
Yeah.
I would start to have like, I would start to hyperventilate. I would have all these childhood fears because I have significantly older brothers and sisters, and they forced me to watch this. So I would have to turn it off. And then I finally, when I was in my 30s, watched the whole damn thing again. And it's a really well done film. Once I got through it as an adult, I don't find it as scary as I did when I was 6, obviously.
Mm.
But there are things about the movie that are just expertly done. And not just Linda Blair's performance and makeup, but like the makeup on Max von Sydow is so excellent. Because that dude was only 42 in this movie. And they made him look like 76-year-old Max von Sydow. So,
The makeup
so-
making him look like exactly what he is today.
yeah. So yeah, there's some really expert things done on here. The soundtrack is, of course, I find Tubular Bells to be an incredibly creepy song.
Yeah.
I can't actually listen to it while I'm alone because I find it that creepy. Which is weird because it's just music, and it's so tied with that movie that I have trouble listening to it alone.
That's what the music is designed to do. I was not on board with this movie until you get the "Your mother sucks cocks in hell," and I was like, "This movie's fucking amazing." I love it. Mia, do you get down with The Exorcist? Does your head spin around in 360 degrees in excitement when talking about The Exorcist?
The Exorcist was definitely going to be on my list. It's a great movie. It does hold up. The scene that got me though when I was a kid watching it was the medical scene where they're putting syringes in
Oof.
Reagan's neck
Needles.
and it's bubbling up. Oh, and let me tell you, the first time I had to go get an MRI, I was like, oh no.
You're not gonna bubble my neck up like that.
I thought that's like what they do. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, if I keep eating chicken wings at the rate I do, my neck will also be looking like that in short order. Jessica, do you fucks with The Exorcist?
I do. It was also on my list. Funny thing, Mia, I think it was those medical scenes that were the ones that are infamous for making people pass out in the movie theater. It wasn't any of the actual scary stuff. It was when they got to the needles in the neck. That's when people were passing out. But what I like about The Exorcist is just it is a great example of like a slow burn horror movie, which around that era most of them were. Again, if you watch them now compared to newer movies, like I have tracked it, and like new horror movies, stuff will start happening within 5 minutes of the movie. But in something like The Exorcist, you're going 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, halfway through the movie before anything spooky actually starts to happen. The entire time, it's these beautiful long scenes of dialogue and small hints of things that are not so, that are, a little strange, but, people are passing them off or investigating. And then it just gets to about mid-movie point where it goes crazy.
Yes, I agree with all of that. Iconic poster as well. Leslie, it is on you, ma'am, for your second pick. And she has her salty face on right now.
Because I spent all this time arranging my list, and now it's just like, is that really what I want? Like, I'm seeing patterns that I didn't see before. I'm like, I'm a little heavy on this. I might need to go off in my, my second tier. But for my second pick, I am going to go with the 1960 classic Psycho.
Oh, okay.
Alfred Hitchcock, fantastic at building suspense. So creepy. I not a lot to say about it that hasn't already been said. Yeah, so I'm going with Psycho.
A little Norman Bates action here.
Yeah.
Carol, what's your thoughts on Psycho?
This is a case study on how to expertly cast a movie.
Mm.
Anthony Perkins is so perfect as Norman Bates that when Gus Van Sant redid it, like scene for scene, it's like it doesn't work because you don't have Anthony Perkins.
It also didn't work because you had Vince Vaughn.
Well, that's true. I mean, seriously, if I'm marrying Crane and Anthony Perkins comes down and greets me, I'm dead because I'm going to feel sorry for him and he's cute. Vince Vaughn rounds that corner. I'm getting back in my car and making my way to Fairfield. It's like, yeah, Anthony Perkins was just so perfect for the role. And it's almost unfortunate because his career died after that.
Yeah. There's a possibility of being too good at something.
Yeah. It's kind of like Linda Blair in The Exorcist.
Yeah.
It's like you're just too tied to one role.
Mia.
You know who would be a good current day Anthony Perkins?
Who's that?
That the guy on You.
Oh,
Penn
yeah.
Badgley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penn Badgley, what a name.
Yeah, what a name. Sounds like a psycho. Well, Jessica, thoughts on Psycho? Are you a Hitchcock fan? Have you seen any other Hitchcocks outside of this massive?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a handful. I've seen Psycho. I've seen The Birds. I do enjoy it. Probably not one of my more rewatchable ones. I think this is something that just for me personally, just I revisit it every few years. I mean, yeah, that is rewatchable, but I mean, like not like yearly or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, it's a good, solid movie. I don't have much more to say about it than that.
Right on. All right, Mia, in the second round, rounding into the third round, your first of two.
Alien.
Oh,
That one hurts.
she said it with confidence, no preamble. She's like, I'm gonna fuck these women's day up right here.
I knew it was gonna hurt, just get it right out there.
I get it all.
I mean, it's a perfect movie.
Yeah, it is a
It's good to
haunted house in
watch.
space, is what they call it.
What? Yeah, Gothic horror in space. Yeah, it's like a Gothic haunted house.
No, thank you. As far as like creature features, Mia, where does the alien itself rank?
That's a really good question. I would put, Godzilla above Alien
Mm.
because it seems like more of a mythical thing. I haven't been to outer space, so I don't know.
You don't get more fucked up than H.R. Giger.
True.
Sure. Who doesn't love a bunch of penises just running around the screen at all times? Just penises exploding out of you, whatever fuck. Leslie, do you prefer Alien or Aliens?
That is an interesting question. I think Alien is the better, more suspense and tense building movie. But Aliens will always have a special place in my heart because just nostalgia, watching it with my dad. Had a huge crush on Michael Biehn when I was little, from this and from Terminator, because that's what little kids do.
So grown-ass men do. I still got a crush on Michael Biehn.
So I probably watch Aliens more often, but I do think Alien is probably the better of the two.
All right, Jess, the same question. Are you Alien or Aliens as far as preference?
My answer is very similar to Leslie's. I am Aliens, and it comes from that nostalgia, like seeing this movie in the movie theater in childhood. And I think it wasn't until, like a lot of movies that I've seen, it was until I was older watching Alien that, the suspense and terror really, kind of came across better than the first time I'd seen it, which was probably when I was a teenager or younger.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, Miss Davis, the floor is yours yet again, kicking us off in round three.
Round three. I'm gonna pick this one because we've all seen it, and it's a strong female lead, and I could easily imagine myself as this character, as a young teenager, Carrie.
Ooh,
Nice.
nicely done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's a whole different kind of horror, man.
Yeah.
Just being a teenager in high school itself is its own brand
Puberty?
of horror. Yeah, puberty. Yes. Yes.
None of those girls were teenagers. Come on.
The most 25-year-old looking high schoolers I have ever seen. Carol, we did Carrie on Refried Scenes. This is torture that you subjected me to. I'm not sure it was legal, but you did. What is your go-to thoughts on Carrie?
I think I preferred the original. We both preferred the original because the remake was just so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's so, Brian De Palma did such a weird thing with it. The opening scene where he's just like casually filming all these teenagers in the shower, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
But it has one of the best jump scares at the end that's ever been on film.
Yeah, I agree with that. It is, of course, has an iconic horror scene that everybody knows and loves and remembers. Right. It's on the poster, another iconic poster.
Plus, her mother was just, oh my God. Piper Laurie in that was terrifying. Forget John Travolta. Her mother was terrifying.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was. Jessica, do you get down on the Carrie, on the Sissy SpaceX of the world?
I do. I love Carrie. And the funny thing is that Sissy Spacek did such a great job as the character of Carrie. And she is just, she's so likable, and you grow with her throughout the movie as she's kind of, blossoming. That I know this is really weird, but I like her character so much that every time it gets towards the end of the movie, I still am always hopeful of a different outcome. I know that's really stupid, but it's like I always want to go in and reassure her, no, you're not really seeing them laughing at you. Everybody loves and supports you. You're fine. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't make a difference in that story.
Can't make a difference in that story.
I love that you want to be Carrie's cheerleader.
She needed one throughout that movie. The teacher was trying her best, if I remember correctly. That
she paid in the end anyway. They all did.
She paid in the end anyways. Got clapped out. Leslie, what do you have on Carrie there?
On Carrie, so it's one I didn't see until either high school or out of high school. Definitely creepy. I don't know. I like it, but I don't have strong feelings towards it. The iconic scene with the bucket and everything. It's a great reference point in a lot of other pop culture. But it's good. I have no strong feelings.
Glowing endorsement from Leslie.
Sorry.
You are up for your third choice, ma'am. Let's keep this moving. What you got?
I am gonna come back a little bit to the present day, closer to the present day, and go with The Witch 2015, directed by Robert Eggers. So the first time I saw this, I actually I was in Thirsty Nomad, RIP, and it was playing, and I got spoiled on the ending. And I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I'm not interested. Like, just had no real desire to see it after that. Finally decided to sit down and give it a watch. I think it was realizing that Anya Taylor-Joy was in it and that I really enjoy her performances. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and give this a try. And it's amazing. It's just so good. The kids are creepy. The goat is creepy. The twist at the end, I enjoyed. Just great performances all around. Good fun.
Now, Carol, as far as animal acting, is the goat ringing up there with the dog from The Thing? How's that stacking up there?
A bit more chaotic. According to Robert Eggers, he'll never film with a goat again. that I do have a little Funko Pop of, my, of the goat on my mantelpiece in the living room. So
That's awesome.
Of
I
course you
imagine the
do.
goat says, "Same to you, buddy."
and quite
Ralph.
frankly, I can listen to Ralph Innocent speak just anything. He could just read a phone book to me and I'll just listen to them and speak. He's got a voice.
He does.
Damn.
That
He does.
That he does. Do you fucks with the witch, Mia? This is kind of like what
No.
really brought Honor Taylor Joy to the no.
Yeah, I knew she
No.
didn't like this one.
No.
What is
I
it
didn't like
about?
this one.
What is it
It-
about that you don't like?
It bored me to tears.
Okay. Okay.
I did not enjoy. I mean, I did like his voice, but not enough. And
Okay.
I was just expecting some excitement to be interjected at some point, but it was just slow pacing and then more slow pacing and more slow pacing.
It is a slow
Lost
burn.
my interest.
It is a bit of a slow burn. Jessica, do you get down with the witch?
I did enjoy it. It definitely didn't make my list. I did like it. Anya Taylor-Joy, I think a couple of people have already said, her performance was great. And, she's continued to just, add these great movies to her resume. So she's very enjoyable to watch. I did watch it a couple of years after it came out and I've only seen it once. So, I don't know, I guess I did enjoy it, but it hasn't been calling out for a second watch.
All right, right on. Carol, it is over to you for your third pick. Where are you going?
Okay. I'm going to go with the best monster movie ever to not star Godzilla, and that is Jaws.
Oh, okay then. All right then. All right.
I do consider this horror. I mean, the opening scene with Chrissy Watkins is probably one of the scariest things I've ever watched, mostly because I know sharks exist. So, I mean, I can watch The Thing and think, yeah, strange hybrid alien dog monster. I'm not gonna run into that anytime soon. But sharks, I don't go in the ocean because of this movie. I just don't.
Okay. An impactful movie like that.
Because sharks freak the hell out of me. They're fascinating, but I don't go in their neighborhood.
I think it's real in the sense that, yes, sharks are real. And it's also real in the sense of human greed and stupidity is also incredibly, incredibly real. Mia, do you get down on this one? A Spielberg classic, some might say the first blockbuster.
Yes, I love Jaws. I did not put it on my list because I was debating a lot about whether I could justify keeping it in a horror category. But I'm not going to argue that it's got scary scenes in it for sure.
Right on, right on. What about you there, Leslie?
Yes, I would say I'm definitely still affected by this film. I did used to swim in the ocean. And I lived in Florida for a while and would swim in the Gulf. And then there was a dolphin rehab nearby and they released a dolphin and it was so great and it was eaten by a shark 3 hours later. And I was like, fuck that, I'm never getting in the water again.
Oh, no.
Oh my, did not see that story coming at all.
So Jaws is probably the reason that I still pull my feet up onto the couch whenever I watch any movie with a scary underwater scene. Like, nope, feet can't be on the floor. Nope.
I feel like that shark woke up and had like a giant red X on its calendar. Like, oh, today's the day. I settle all family debts. Okay, right on. Yeah, Jaws is part of the reason I don't go in the water. Also because I'm black. Jessica, it's over to you now for the turn, man. What's the last pick of round 3 and the first pick of round 4?
So my pick is going to be the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, there it is. This is the first no, I guess Jaws is the first franchise movie picked.
Poltergeist.
Oh, there were like 3 of those, weren't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's forget about those other 2. All right, Nightmare on Elm Street. Talk about it for a second.
Again, one that comes from childhood. I appreciate it because it is a far less jokey and quippy Freddy Krueger. Most of his scenes are shot where you can barely see him, and it made it really creepy for me watching when I was a kid. I know there's a scene where in the beginning of the movie when the first female character, Tina, is in a dream and meets him in an alleyway outside her house, and his arms stretch out, and the metal hands are making sparks on the wall. And I mean, that scene stuck with me for a very long time. That scene terrified me. It's funny because I know a lot of people make fun of it now that it looks funny or that it looks weird, but it was a really creepy scene. But I mean, overall, I think a great slasher movie, and with a very great, I guess what we call now a final girl, in the Nancy character. She's Heather Thompson, like right?
Heather
She's,
Langenkamp.
Langenkamp, yeah, okay. So it's Nancy Thompson's character in the movie. So she's a lot of fun to watch, and she did a really good job.
Right on. Another movie I was forcefully subjected to against my will. Carol, as far as these long-running franchise slashers go, how do they as a whole stack up against like great one-offs? Like do they have the same weight as like just a really good one-off, or does it carry a larger amount of weight just due to the iconic nature of these long-running franchises?
I think one of the problems with long-running franchises is that it starts to take itself less seriously. The first Nightmare, like Jess said, is played very straight. But after that, Freddy kept getting quippier and quippier until he's just joking. It's like Chucky in the Child's Play movies.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, he doesn't make that many jokes, and then suddenly it's just one-liner after one-liner. And that was deliberate. They deliberately went into the comedy. But I think with Nightmare, I kind of prefer standalones simply because they don't wear it down. They don't wear down the newness of it.
Right on. What about same question for you, Mia?
Well, I think that being in a franchise can help or it can hurt you. Because let's say Nightmare on Elm Street, I like Nightmare on Elm Street, but do I like Nightmare on Elm Street number 21? No.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking about making a list, I'm only going to put the original down. I'm not going to list any sequel.
Right on. Something for the rest of you to remember in case there's some sequels to snatch up out there. Jessica, kick us off on round 4, please.
All right. I think that the time is good. I just got to do this because Mia just said nobody's going to pick a sequel to a horror movie. I am going to pick a sequel to a horror movie. I am going to go with Hellraiser 2.
Okay. Hellraiser.
That's a good choice.
Why Hellraiser 2 over Hellraiser 1?
This is one of those cases where I would actually say that the sequel is better than the original. I liked Hellraiser 2 a lot more than I liked Hellraiser 1. I've gotten more of an appreciation now for Hellraiser, the first movie, but the second one's just great. It's on a grander scale. It's more epic. You could tell like the first, I guess, figured out what they were doing a little bit more. So the practical effects are a little bit better than the first movie. You don't necessarily see feet running down a hallway behind a puppet. So it really was an improvement.
Right on. Is the sequel better than the original one? It's a great podcast idea. Carol, let's get to it. Overcooked Scenes is what we're going to call it.
Oh,
Police
wait,
Academy
we've done
6. Okay.
Is the sequel better?
Leslie, do you get down on the Hellraiser franchise at all?
Nah.
All right, then sounds good, Mia.
So I didn't see them when I was younger. I saw the first one when I was in my mid to late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And there just wasn't really anything about it that spooked me or scared me. I was just kind of like, yep, so this is happening. Okay. It never did anything for me. I think maybe I saw 2 of them, maybe. So it's not a franchise I ever dove into either.
You saw the 2 best. Don't bother with any of the other ones. Seriously, don't. It's all downhill from 2.
It's all downhill from there. Mia, is Hellraiser a franchise that you've gotten down on?
I like Hellraiser 3. I think that that's the best of the
Hmm.
Hellraisers, but I have a little bit of a subjective view. Pinhead is like a sex symbol as far as I'm concerned.
Wasn't expecting that.
So
so,
I have met Doug Bradley. He's a very nice man.
he is a very nice man. Yes.
All right, there you go. That's all you need to know if you're looking for a sexy slasher. You look
I
no
do
further
like
than
that with the
Pinhead.
new Hellraiser coming out, everyone's asking when Clive Barker became so woke and queer. And I'm like, I don't know, 1982? Where have you been?
Oh, isn't that movie come out like on Hulu or something like that?
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
coming out on Hulu. They're all getting mad because a trans woman plays Pinhead. And it's
Oh
like,
no.
if you read anything, Cenobites are genderless, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter who plays
Yeah.
Pinhead.
It's a dumb argument.
It's a dumb argument. Carol, it is on you. Your fourth man.
Oh, it's on me? Okay, sorry. Got interrupted by Kat. Okay, well, I'm gonna go with the only zombie movie, one of two zombie movies that ever made me cry, Train to Busan.
Oh no.
Don't like that choice.
Good
You're
call.
killing me.
Oh my goodness.
Not one I would have thought of actually to put on my list, but it is definitely the most wild zombie movie I've seen. in
This
quite
is
some time.
two zombie movies have ever made me cry, Train to Busan and Cargo. This is the better of the two movies. Frankly, the zombies are terrifying, and because they're those fast zombies, and those are the ones that freak me out the most. Excuse me. Sorry, I have cats. But yeah, Train to Busan. It's such a simple story, and it's just very, very well done.
Right on. Jess, have you checked out Train to Busan?
I have. I enjoyed it a lot. It was
Have
a
you
great
ever
movie.
been on a Train to Busan?
No, I have not.
Okay, just thought I'd check. What is your Kat? Have you ever seen Train to Busan? What are your thoughts on this, ma'am or sir?
Artemis, get your face on the camera.
Jessica, are you, as far as like Carol's talking about fast moving zombies, which are you more a fan of, the fast moving or like the classic slow shambling type?
I mean, as far as fan goes, because most of the classic zombie movies are the slow shambling zombies, but as far as what I'm terrified of, yeah, fast moving zombies all the way. That the zombies in that movie are terrifying.
I think it's terrifying for all of us because none of us could get about 100 feet without being completely out of breath. And then just
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, just take me. I
Just
can't run.
take
Just
me.
take me.
Just these love handles are full of good flavor. That's all I know. Mia, Train to Busan, you check this out?
Oh, I love this movie.
Mhm.
I found it by just scrolling through foreign horror movies to look at. So I went in blind, I had no expectations, and it blew me away. And it's still one of the movies I recommend to somebody that's asking for like a zombie movie or a horror movie or a foreign film.
Right on. Good call, and good on you for suggesting that to people. Leslie, it is on you, ma'am. Apparently, Train to Busan was on the list. It is no longer on that list. What
It was on my list.
what is your fourth pick?
Well, along those same lines, before it gets snatched up by somebody else, I'm gonna go with 28 Days Later, Danny Boyle. Not technically zombies. I will die on this hill. They're berserkers. They're not dead. They die after 7 days. They're berserkers, but essentially fast zombies. That was the first time I saw Cillian Murphy.
Cheekbones Murphy.
Amazing.
Cut diamonds on those things.
I liked everything about it. I liked that he woke up in the middle of it, no fucking clue what's going on. He finds this poor group and or not poor group, he finds this group of people, and just the way it goes, it's terrifying, and for me seems realistic, and you know, that you would find some people who are on the up and up and some who are just like, yeah, no, we're going to use you for our own good. Yeah, loved it, and I loved the ending with the plane overhead.
I still have not
Not
seen
the
this
original
movie.
ending.
No, it wasn't.
No, they had a much. You're gonna knock me out of the call, Cat. It had a much more bittersweet ending
Okay.
All right.
originally, and then he came up. He filmed like 3 endings, I think,
Yeah, it's
and
on the
they chose the
DVD.
happier one.
Okay.
Look at Danny Boy with the clue endings. I like it. Okay. Mia, do you fucks with the 28 days? What about
I,
Weeks?
I think both are good, but 28 Days Later was on my list. Leslie snatched it up.
Mm. Terrible. She's a terrible person. Mia, you are you're ending at our round 4 and kicking us off round 5. Hit us with your next pick, please.
I had this a little further down on my list, but I see how competitive this is.
Strategizing.
I'm gonna bump this up. This is a remake,
Okay. We might be
Which
okay.
means I've probably been subjected to it.
Suspiria.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
that was lower down on my list, but it was there.
I assume you're talking about are you talking about the remake or the Argento?
She did
The-
say it's a
The
remake.
The
Okay,
remake.
that's what I thought I'd heard that, but I blanked out for a second. All right. The Dakota, was that Dakota Johnson joint?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not exactly like her biggest fan. She rocked this role for sure. Tilda Swinton plays everybody.
As she
I think
does
she
from
played
time
somebody's
to
dance
time.
shoes in one scene.
She plays everybody else. It's it's Dakota Johnson and Tilda Swinton as everybody else.
That end credits list was really short for some reason. Yeah, it's this is one that me and Carol did for Refrattine. It's been a couple years, but as I remember it, it's like she comes to the dance studio because she wants to learn how to dance, and then things just get fucky from there.
Yes.
The end sold.
The yeah, I mean, right then and there, you know that the women that own this dance company are fucking some shit up. Like they
We're not
don't.
talking about routines, people.
No, we're not talking about routines.
All right, Jessica, have you checked out either the original or the remake of Suspiria?
No, actually, have not seen either one.
If you want to be in for just what the fuck is happening for the entire runtime of a film, that's the one I would suggest for you.
Okay.
Leslie, you checked out the remake, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
It was okay. I was not super affected by it. It was okay.
All right. Cast your mind back, Carol. Do you remember if you preferred the original or the remake for this?
Oh, the remake. I actually dislike the original quite a bit. The music in the original just kills me. It's so repetitive. And to me, the original Suspiria is all style and very little substance. And there's a lot of style in the remake, but there's also a lot of substance. And it has one of the most painful dance sequences you will ever see. Just
Yeah.
creepy as all hell.
Good call. Good call. Mia, you are kicking us off on round 5.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I am gonna put Cabin in the Woods.
Oh,
Also on my list.
a little left of center here.
It takes all of the tropes and like kind of does the anti-trope.
Yeah. All the tropes and does the anti-trope. That's exactly what it says on the back of the DVD box, which is weird.
I should write these.
Who gets paid for this? Mia's taking the jobs. Carol, what you got on Cabin in the Woods?
It is at once kind of creepy, kind of scary, and incredibly funny. I absolutely adore the Bradley Whitford, Richard Jenkins duo behind the scenes. I love this film. This is one I rewatch pretty regularly.
Okay. All right. Then. Leslie, you've checked out Cabin in the Woods.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have a similar
Agreed.
thought?
It is both hilarious and creepy, creepy, scary. And I love it. I love the ending too. I think it's all great.
They couldn't do a different ending.
No,
They
it's
had to-
perfect.
They had to go all the way. I love it.
All right, right on. Jess, you checked out Cabin in the Woods?
I have. I've seen it once and it's been a while. I remember it was a very fun movie, but I don't remember enough to sit here and really kind of break it down.
Was it on your list at
Unfortunately-
all?
It was not, no.
All right, right on, right on. Leslie, we're over to you, ma'am.
Taking a gamble.
Oh boy.
I don't know what to choose between, but I'm gonna take a gamble, and I'm actually gonna go with Scream, the original '96 Wes Craven directed, Nev Campbell, Skeet Ulrich. I love it. It was probably my first experience with a sort of comedic horror, and I adored every bit of it. Matthew Lillard was fucking hilarious.
He was
Um,
great.
Just everything about that film. And I have a friend who's a bit younger than I am, so she didn't, she didn't see it in high school, and she didn't watch it until maybe 5-10 years ago.
Mhm.
And she's just like, I don't get it. And I'm like, but it's amazing, it's so 90s. And she's like, yeah, it's so 90s.
Who didn't have it on their list? Didn't someone say it earlier before we
I
began?
did.
It's not on you, Carol. What's your thoughts
Yeah.
on Scream?
I think as a franchise, it's fine. To me, it's somewhat generic. I know when it came out, it was kind of like, wow, they killed Drew Barrymore in the first 5 minutes. And then it became, well, who are they going to kill in the first 5 minutes with every film?
Hmm.
So it is one of those films that the first one's good, but then it kind of repeats itself over and over.
Fair.
Yeah, it's another one of those that becomes a pale imitation of itself as a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yeah.
I
All right.
like the second one a lot as well. But yeah, after that, I tend to drop off.
Jessica, as we are still getting new Scream movies, are you still as excited?
Me for Scream?
Yeah.
No, not really. I haven't seen the new movie. I probably haven't seen the last couple of movies. I've seen the first one and the second one. It was enjoyable. Not a favorite horror movie for me. It did at that point when the first Scream came out, like that's when the Friday the 13th and Halloween, those franchises were really getting played out. So it
Mhm.
did. I have to give it credit for coming in and sort of breathing new life into the genre, and it is fun for how it makes fun of the tropes of slasher movies. But it's I don't know, it's a decent movie, but not one that I've stuck with the franchise.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Carol Coles, your fifth pick.
Okay, I'm going to take the other Ari Aster, and I'm going with Hereditary.
Surprised it was out there as long as it was. Talk about it.
This is a movie. God, it's so expertly done, and I can't believe it's his first feature-length film. Toni Collette was robbed of an Oscar, completely robbed. I think she's amazing. I just remember the first time seeing it when Charlie hits the lamppost. The guy behind me was like, "Oh man, I don't think she's gonna recover from that." And I'm like, you don't think? Because it was such a shocking moment. She had been such an integral part of all of the marketing, and then that character's gone. And it's pretty early in the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's creepy. It has one of the most gruesome deaths at the end when Toni Collette basically cuts her own head off with piano wire.
As you do. Mia, I know you said you were a fan of Midsummer, you equally as a fan of Hereditary.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It took my breath away when that car scene that Carol was describing.
It took her breath away as well, I'm pretty sure.
And then they show the head, and I'm like, oh my god.
Right. And I absolutely agree that Toni Collette was robbed of an Oscar.
Of the
She wasn't even
two,
nominated, I don't think.
which do you prefer more of between Midsummer and Hereditary?
Myself?
Yeah.
I prefer Midsummer, but Hereditary was still on my list.
Right on, right on.
Yeah, same.
What about you, Jessica? Between Midsummer and Hereditary, which of those two are you going with?
Well, Midsummer I still haven't seen.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Hereditary I saw one time, and I know this is a really unpopular opinion, but I didn't like it.
Ooh, what about it didn't you like?
I just don't think, I mean, looking back at it now, I just don't think it was the type of horror movie that I am used to or that I was expecting. I recently went to a convention and saw the actress Millie, who played the young character in the movie Charlie, and listened to her Q&A, and it really was kind of eye-opening. And between that and watching some YouTube videos on it recently, and just sort of, I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know if I wasn't reading between the lines of the movie or not, but I do want to go back and do a rewatch and then kind of go at it with an open mind. I just think for me, the decapitation of Charlie and then Toni Collette's decapitation at the end were just way too disturbing and put me off too much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, end this first half, Jessica, and begin us on the back half. What is your first pick?
I am going to go with a fun one, and it is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay.
This movie gets a lot of grief, but it's good.
It is, it is not a well-directed movie. It is definitely not a well-acted movie. It has got great practical effects and makeup in it because it was done by three brothers who, came from an effects background. But I absolutely love this movie. I've loved it since it first came out. I've loved it my whole life. My parents and I used to watch it on TV every single time it came on. And it does have one scene in it that genuinely creeps me out, even to this day. It's the human puppet scene. And all these years, it's been a cult classic, and it's getting a resurgence now. It has a video game coming out next year. There's merchandise for it everywhere. And I am just absolutely thrilled by that. I think it's the greatest thing.
Right on. Leslie, you seem to be incredibly delighted by this choice.
This is another one I didn't see until like my mid to late 20s. I thought it was kind of goofy, and my boyfriend at the time loved it and was also terrified of it because he hated clowns. So it's an amusing movie.
There you go. All right, Jessica, your second pick.
So second pick, I am going to go for the original Halloween. I said earlier, I love John Carpenter, most of what he's done, and The Thing would definitely be number one on my list, but Halloween is number two. And the funny thing about Halloween is I didn't really start to appreciate this until just a few years ago. I had seen it when I was a kid. I probably thought it was too slow and kind of boring and just not exciting compared to something like A Nightmare on Elm Street, where there's a lot more action going on. But it is just a very great suspenseful movie, and Jamie Lee Curtis is absolutely amazing, as this character.
Right on. Laurie Strode. Mia, I had a question. I just lost it. Oh, these new David Gordon Green Halloweens. Have you watched these? Are you still getting the same? Is it true to the spirit of the original Halloween movies? These new ones.
Yeah, they kept Laurie Strode a strong character. Back in the first Halloween, she's the babysitter, right? And you feel like she's really genuinely trying to protect these kids.
Right on.
And that carries true to right now. You really feel like Laurie is there to protect everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a seat at the premiere, of each of the new ones coming out.
You heard it here first. Mia is flying out to LA. She's been invited to the premiere of these Halloween movies. We are all quite jealous of you. Thank you to Carol Coles for subjecting me to that Rob Zombie Halloween movie. I've never been friends with you after that.
I can't stand his films.
Yes, for good reason. And it is on you for your pick here, Carol.
Um, okay, I'm gonna choose one where I read the book first and it scared the hell out of me, and then I saw the movie and it scared the hell out of me, and that's Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
When I read Silence of the Lambs, I was actually a size 14, and I seriously stayed up all night reading this book and just terrified because there's some guy out there who wants to kill me and starve me and skin me and wear me. and I was like, damn, I'm the size he's looking for. And yeah, I think the movie actually captured the feel of the book incredibly well. It's got a great performances all around. Obviously, it won like technically it is still the only horror film to win a Best Picture Oscar, although they tend to call it a thriller now, so they don't have to, admit that they gave it to a horror film.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Leslie, do you get down with Silence of the Lambs? Are you a fan of Jodie Foster in this joint?
Yes, very much. The sort of hesitance, but also like eagerness to work on the case is something that I think a lot of people can sort of empathize with, not necessarily working on a case with a serial killer, but you get a new job or you're trying to move up and you have this opportunity and it seems great and it's kind of really awful. But yeah, so I really enjoy her character, her dedication, and Hannibal Lecter is just super creepy.
One of the all-time great fictional characters.
Yes, and just a wonderful performance. Amazing performance by Hopkins. Yes, Anthony Hopkins.
Oscar-winning Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, for like 14 minutes of screen time. He is not in that film a whole lot.
No.
Impact.
Yeah. And I would say that's probably my favorite of the trilogy, quadrilogy. I think there were 2 versions of Red Dragon.
Yeah, there's 2 versions. Red Dragon's not that bad. I can't stand what Thomas Harris did with Clarice Starling in the sequel, so I don't even discuss Hannibal.
Fair enough.
Well, there you go. Leslie, it is on you.
Well, I clearly made the wrong choice and should have gone with Halloween because that was going to be my pick this round. So instead, I'm left struggling. But I think I'm actually going to lean the other way and go with the 2017 It Chapter 1.
Better of the 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There were a couple of changes towards the end of the film that I wasn't super thrilled with, but overall, I really liked it. I thought it captured the friendships really well. It captured that just outsider feeling and that feeling of like finding your people. Unfortunately, they found themselves in the middle of a horror story, but Bill Skarsgård does a phenomenal job. Just super creeptastic. Like, I didn't think that there would ever be anyone like Tim Curry that could pull off Pennywise, and it's a very different Pennywise, but to me just as iconic.
Right on. I think it's established amongst most people that Chapter 1 is better than Chapter 2. Neo, what did you expect it to hit as big as it did when it first came out?
Yeah, I knew that classic fans were going to go see it. And I was one of them. I loved the miniseries. And I liked this version. Not enough to make my list, but I really liked it. Found it very entertaining, and I wanted to go see chapter 2. And Carol told me don't bother, so I listened.
I was disappointed.
I would
Advice
go
from a
see
friend.
chapter 2 just for Bill Hader.
That would be the only reason why I would say watch it is
I-
for Bill Hader.
Amazing
I'm a fan.
performance, and like I went on a Bill Hader streak after watching it. Yeah, for
Alright.
sure.
Jessica, do you get down on the It's?
I do. Just like everyone else, I love the miniseries. I was so excited for part 1 to come out. I remember hearing the casting news of Bill Skarsgård being cast as Pennywise, and I was just like, like I'm just gonna have to see how this goes, because up to that point, the only thing I knew him from was as like the, kind of pouty bad boy character in Hemlock Grove, and I was really hoping he could pull it off, and he did. He did a great job. He made a very creepy Pennywise, and again, the relationships between the kids, the casting in that movie was outstanding. You could actually tell, or at least it was very believable, the kind of closeness they had, and which always ends up, when characters like that you love are put in peril, it really kind of like ups the ante on, hoping, that they're going to get through. I mean, of course, all of us probably already knew the story and knew what was going to happen, but still, it increases your, you're kind of rooting for them and your worry about them.
Right on, right on. Mia, end this round and begin the next, please.
Okay, so we're number 6, right?
You 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yes.
5, 6 for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm picking this for its notoriety. Audition.
Damn it.
Okay. All right.
Audition is one of those movies. There was a Hollywood video near my house that I would go in often.
Rest
And
in
I had
peace.
seen everything mainstream, all the new releases. So it's down to like, okay, well, let me talk to the people that work here and see what they would suggest. And the guy told me to watch Audition, but he warned me that it's a difficult watch. And it really is. And it even takes multiple views to really understand some of the scenes. But there are some scenes that really stick with you.
Carol, you
This was on my list.
muttered a sworn oath. All right, so it wasn't
Yeah, this was on my list. When it was recommended to me, somebody gave me the tape to watch. Yeah, this is a VCR. That's how long ago. And I started it, and it starts out so slow. I was like, "What is this? Sleepless in Tokyo? This is some romantic comedy." And then the burlap bag hit the wall,
Yeah.
and it is one of the creepiest scenes I've ever seen. Just her staring at the phone for days, waiting for him to call while this burlap bag just moves behind her. And the phone rings and it throws itself against the wall. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And it is all downhill from there.
Directed by Takashi Miike, who I think just did his 100th movie not
Yeah.
too long ago. Yeah.
It's a workhorse.
Known for doing them quick, known for doing them cheap, and known for about 50% of them being good. Mia, what is your next pick?
Candyman, the new one.
The remake.
Oh, okay.
Okay, interesting.
I think it is such a well-made film. Even when you take it out of the horror genre, that's a good movie anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it very recently and I loved everything about it.
Carol's cat's like, I want no part of this conversation. Yeah. Abdul Mateen is doing a great job
Yeah.
in this, and just seeing like the slow
Yeah, the way
descent into
Oh
the
my goodness.
dismantling of a man.
I'm not even sure what to say as far as like spoilers or not spoilers. So
Smart. Leslie, you checked out the new Candyman, didn't you?
I did, and agreed. I really enjoyed it. Fantastic performances, and yeah, I
Yeah.
I the 92 version was one that I always found uber creepy. Uh, so I was very much looking forward to seeing this remake and enjoyed it a lot.
Tony Todd is one of those men though, where he'd be like, "Come with me," and I'd be like, "Okay, where are we going?"
Not Vince Vaughn.
Mr.
Vince
V-Man,
Vaughn.
I'll go with you.
Meanwhile, I was on the opposite end. Tony Todd's like, "Come with me." I'm gonna be like, I don't think so, Tony Todd. I don't think so at all, sir. Matter of fact, whenever he pops up in anything, I'm like, well, shit's about to go left. If it
Yeah.
hasn't gone left already.
So that's where I thought Carol was going with that. And that's why I was agreeing at first, like, yes, scary. And then
No.
you're like, hot. And I'm like,
I
oh,
think Tony Todd is incredibly hot.
attractive, but I've only seen him in scary roles.
Yeah, and I would not like to see Tony Todd wearing the skin of Carol Coles anytime soon because he fell for it. Leslie, what is up next on your list?
Oh, it's my turn again. That is how this works.
Yes.
I am gonna snatch up another Stephen King adaptation that I don't think gets enough love, and that is Misery. I Kathy Bates is so great, and I think again this was probably my first introduction to her, and it's so claustrophobic because he's trapped, he's so trapped. And she just does a phenomenal job of being that die-hard fan that you can believe is out there these days.
Yes.
So yeah, I loved everything about it.
Jessica, you get down on Misery? Are you a fan of seeing Jimmy Kahn's foot knocked sideways?
Yeah, definitely. No, I think like what Leslie said, I think this was actually most people's introduction to Kathy Bates, who just came along and gives this absolutely explosive performance. I mean, I think it was so good that the next few times I saw her, like it took me a little while to recover and actually start to like her again and not hold her like personally responsible for for Annie Wilkes and Misery. So, but yeah, it's a very suspenseful movie, very and it does get pretty terrifying at times.
I 100% agree. Miss Coles, it is on you, ma'am.
Okay, so my first choice was a movie with no female characters. I'm going to choose a movie with no male characters. I'm going with The Descent.
I have not seen that one.
It is praised in Paprika by Rick Presses as one of the most terrifying movies he has seen.
Before they even get to the cannibals, I'm terrified because it's caving and I'm highly claustrophobic. And there's a scene in this where I actually had to get up and leave the theater because I was starting to get really kind of like, oh no, I can't watch this. But it's a group of friends go down into a cave because they do these like little adventure vacations every year. And one of them has a tragedy and they're trying to get all back together and they go caving. Only one of them tells them that they're going to an easy cave and they're not going to an easy cave. They're going through a very difficult cave. And there's some creatures in there. It's very well acted. It's incredibly well shot. Neil Marshall did this. He also did one of my favorite werewolf movies, Dog Soldiers. But he lit it completely with the lights you would use if you were caving. So there's no natural light at all. And when it's dark, you see nothing. So yeah, this is one of my favorite horror films, and I go back to this one quite a bit.
Right on. Mia, do you get down on The Descent?
I do like it, but I did not put it on my list.
I'm interested to see what all you have left on your list. Your list is looking real wild over there. Jess, have you checked out The Descent?
I have not.
Ooh, okay then. Leslie,
Skip the sequel. The sequel is terrible. Everything done right in the first one is done poorly in the sequel.
Do they just go back into the cave again, or is it a different group of people? Okay, all right. Pass on that one then. Pass on that one.
Then suddenly there's light everywhere.
That's not how caves work. All right, Jessica, it is on you to give us our turn.
Okay, I am picking the original Omen movie.
The Omen.
Nice.
You're still not watched
Um,
this movie.
No?
Nah.
No.
I think we have established where I stand on my boundaries of scary movies. All
I
right.
like the quick shot I got of Leslie's face right there when you said that. It was priceless. No, this is a great creepy movie. It's older, so again, it's another fantastic slow build up before anything really starts happening. Has Gregory Peck in it, and he's fantastic. Also David Warner, who unfortunately recently passed away, so R.I.P. This is, probably the movie I know him for the best too, out of everything that he did over his career. You've got Gregory Peck plays he's a senator and he's living in England and realizes that he's raising the son of the devil who will eventually come into power. But for this entire movie, this kid's just this mostly innocent, like 4-year-old kid. And, it's these servants that are coming around and placing themselves in his life that are, end up causing these, horrible deaths of people that are, kind of in the, that are around this child.
Oh man, Atticus Finch in the middle of the shit. I like it. So
I was just gonna say, if you haven't watched, sadly there's only one season, but the show Damien, it's so much fun. It's the young child grown up, and they splice in like flashbacks to the original film, which I think is really, really cool. Fun show.
Very nice, very nice.
And by fun, I mean dark.
Jessica, what's up next? You got
So the next one, 3 spots left. Okay, I am going to go for one that is just, is always going to have a place in my heart. It is The Lost Boys.
Nice.
Oh, we're considering that a horror? Okay, I'll roll with it.
It's vampires.
That's vampires. All right. Would you
Sexy
consider,
sex, dude.
Would you consider Twilight a horror movie?
No.
No,
Oh, okay.
but the Twilight is
It's
a teen
vampires.
romance that happens to have supernatural aspects.
All right. Speak on The Lost Boys.
So this was a favorite of mine when it came out. I loved it for many years. This was actually the first VHS that I ever purchased, because
Nice.
back then VHS, when they came out, were very expensive. My parents bought this for me for my birthday. It was $100. And I loved this movie for a really long time. I got a crazy crush on Kiefer Sutherland from this movie. And it's just who can really, you gotta love, like, the original sexy vampires,
That's right.
or the original teen sexy vampires.
The only movie on this list to feature a truck with a horn that plays La Cucaracha. Carol, where do you stand on The Lost Boys?
I think it's a fun movie. It's very 80s. And it's also very Joel Schumacher. So I think I said the same thing about Flatliners when we did Flatliners on Refried Scenes. It's just when Joel Schumacher directs a film, you can tell Joel Schumacher.
Very true, very true. And it does give way to the Kiefer Sutherland crush, because my man is rocking some wonderful
However,
hair.
going back to Us, they're filming The Lost Boys at the beginning of Us.
Mhm.
That's right. What you got on Lost Boys, Leslie?
Oh, I enjoyed it, but I was just a little bit younger, so I was crushing on Corey Haim instead of Kiefer Sutherland.
No love for Feldman. Carol, what is next on your list here?
Okay, we're gonna go a bit gross, and it is a remake. I'm going with David Cronenberg's The Fly.
Okay.
Cemented my crush on Jeff Goldblum.
That's one way of doing things.
That's an odd
Movie
way,
that
but
cements your crush.
Hey, he was cute in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. The Fly, he's also very cute for
At
a good
first.
chunk of the movie, and then he's not very cute at all.
Yeah.
I love this film not just for the practical effects, but his performance is another one that was ignored by every sort of award ceremony ever, and he is so brilliant in this. Goldblum is so, and it's disgusting. The end where he's just throwing up on food and throwing up on people, and they're dissolving. It's really gross, but it's gross in a good way. I like it.
It's gross in a good way. It gives it the iconic phrase, be afraid, be very afraid.
Very afraid. Yes.
Yes, thank you to a very young, nice looking Gina Davis in that role. Mia, do you fucks with Goldblum in The Fly?
I have not seen it.
You've not seen,
Not
is
seen David
that is that intentional or just one that you just never got around to?
I never got around to it.
All right, right on. What about you, Jessica?
I have seen it. I do like The Fly a lot. I guess it was like the height of the sexy Goldblum, that part of his
I
career.
don't know. Have you seen Ragnarok?
Right?
This man's
got
on
a
a
point, you got a
40-year
point.
run.
Yeah, there's no peak, there's no valley. It's just all
Straight line.
It's all Goldblum.
Very well.
How
very
about we
well.
put it more like the swagger he
There we
carries? So
go.
like back then he was more of like, I am a rock star, and now he's just like, I am me.
Yeah,
I am Jeff
very-
Goldblum.
Very
Mhm.
good point. Very good. Former rock star. All right, then, Leslie, it is on you.
I'm gonna go with another adaptation, actually. American Psycho, 2000 adaptation of Bret Easton Ellis's novel. Christian Bale gives a completely insane performance. I don't remember when I first saw this, but I was not. I didn't get all of the satire initially. So it definitely hit a bit different when I watched it again, older, more life experience. But just everything about it, the over the top, joyful, gleeful maliciousness, the the whole psychological nature of it. Did he do it? Is he even this guy? Like, what is real here? It's all good. It's all good.
Mia, what do you think of Christian Bale's tasteful thickness in this movie?
this tasteful thickness. I'm gonna pretend you asked how I think he performed in this movie.
Yes, let's go with that.
I think he did great. I loved this movie. I saw it in the theater when it came out. The trailer like had me reeled in. So I definitely wanted to see this one, and I've always liked it. Good choice.
Good. Yes, indeed. And speaking of which, it is on you for the turn, ma'am. Where are you going with your next pick? Mighty Mia.
I'm gonna pick another first in a franchise, Saw.
I was wondering
best one.
where. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw is one of those movies that, for me, I mean, it did not look like it had such a low budget until you really think about, well, they really didn't have many settings to go with. They were able to make this movie.
They filmed in the bathroom of a Days Inn.
Right. So you can really make an impactful movie with not that many resources. The story was just so good. And then would you say that was a comeback for Danny Glover? He hadn't acted in a while.
Yeah,
And then-
I think if it was a comeback, he kind of disappeared again.
That's true. That's true. But we hadn't seen him act in a while.
Yeah, it had been a little while. Maybe he realized he hadn't got too old for this shit, and he was able to get back up in there and give some great performances for this. Jessica, what do you get that on the Saw franchise?
I don't really. It's not my type of horror. I think it's mostly the body horror aspect of it is never really the type of thing that I like to watch. The first movie was a good movie, and I have seen some of the sequels, but it's not one of those that's, that would be on my list.
Doesn't ring a bell. Okay. Mia, what is your second choice?
I'm gonna pick this one, even debating if how much of a horror movie that it actually is.
Suspect.
Green Room.
That's on my list.
That's
I just
was
Okay.
on my list too.
that movie, and you got the villain of the movie is Patrick Stewart. Like, how genius is that?
Scary as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so intimidating. And
Yeah.
there's no doubt why he would have command of like so many people.
Yeah, it's a wild premise of, hey, we just wanted to play this show and get the fuck out, and that didn't quite
Forgot
work.
your phone.
Forgot the phone. Maybe not a smart move playing the anti-Nazi song in the middle of a whole bunch of Nazis. So I'm gonna say
I mean, but
10%
it's
of this you
very
brought on
punk.
yourself. Yeah,
It's
it's-
very fun.
it's very- some people like to die for their art, as we have seen now in the Green Room. What do you thought? What are your thoughts on this, Leslie?
Who did you say?
What are your thoughts on Green Room?
Oh, mine. Dude, I was not prepared and had a very visceral reaction to the hacking of the arm through the door.
Oh my god.
Like literally had to pause and go to the bathroom and like thought I was gonna lose my shit. I don't know that I could watch it again. It was very good. It was very well done, but it was just the way that it hit me at that time was just so intense that it's not one I've gone back to.
Right.
I would suggest it if people are up for, like I would not hesitate to suggest it. But I don't know that I would watch it again.
Yeah, when I do suggest it, I do like give them a trigger warning. with
Trigger
my-
warning: Patrick
Mhm.
Stewart is in this movie. Apparently, on my A24 list that I keep on Letterboxd, it sits at number 14. I like that movie quite a bit.
What's number one on that list? I'm curious.
The Great Night.
Oh, that makes sense.
Leslie, what is your pick? We are in round 9.
I know. So I'm going to go with 2020 film Possessor by Cronenberg. I honestly have no idea how popular or not popular this film is, if it's well known or not. It is so good and so fucked up. You find out that it's this lady who is like, she's an assassin, and she goes into other people's minds and like takes over their bodies to kill people, but it also has a very ill effect on her and her brain and what she is seeing and perceiving, and it's just so intense, so suspenseful, and just really good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
There we go. Now I'm off mute. Carol, have you seen Possessor?
I have. I liked it. I didn't love it. It's an uncomfortable movie, but then it's Cronenberg, so most of Cronenberg's films are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes.
That about wraps that up. Carol, what is your penultimate?
Okay, I'm gonna go with a movie that every time I see a scene from it, I feel like I need to shower, and that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
The original Toby Hooper one, not that thing that they just put on Netflix.
Was that a remake? Is that what that was they did earlier?
No, it's a requel. They tried to do the Halloween thing.
Okay. No.
Yeah,
thanks.
so I can't say this is a great film. It is it's so visceral that it makes me feel icky.
Mm.
So it accomplishes what it set out to do. It made me feel yucky. So, and Leatherface in this movie is an incredibly disgusting bad guy.
Yes, yes. Another movie that I was subjected to against
Yeah,
my will.
sorry about that. Oh, I that remake,
You sense a pattern happening here on the show. Jessica, have you gotten down on the original Texas Chainsaw from what, like 74, something like that?
I have. It's funny, this fell into a small group of horror movies that I somehow missed throughout my life. And I've been playing catch up for about the last 2 years, going through a list of these movies. And so Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I've actually seen within the last year. Like Carol said, it's not a great movie. It's still, I mean, it's a classic movie. It's if you want to consider yourself a horror fan, I think you definitely need to see it, which is why it was on that list for me to catch up on. But yeah, it's all right.
Right on, right on. And we are at the end of your picks, Jessica. What is your penultimate and final pick here on the turn?
I am going to go for something newer. This just came out this year. It's The Black Phone.
Oh,
Good film.
okay.
Good film.
Yeah, and I was really looking forward to it. It's based on a short story written by Joe Hill, which is Stephen King's son. And it just, I don't know, after I saw this, I came out of it and I thought to myself, this is the perfect spooky movie. It takes place in the early 80s. They got the period down great. They got the clothing down perfect. The kids are all fantastic in the movie. And then, it enters into this spooky story of child abduction. And so my son watched it. He's only 13, and I had to explain that he really had to, he's got no way to understand what it was like at the time. That's the time, that's the era of Adam Walsh, and getting fingerprinted in school and children getting abducted was really starting to become like a real thing. So I think that they in this movie they captured the fear of that time very, very well. And I'm not even sure that this movie would have worked in another time period as well as it did here.
Right.
And then Ethan Hawke does this fantastically creepy performance from behind a mask the entire movie.
Yeah, I think Ethan Hawke really sells it without seeing his face until the very end. Mia, did you check out The Black Phone?
No, I haven't seen it.
All right, right on. What about you there, Carol?
I have. I really enjoyed it. I have the same problem with The Black Phone that I had with Sinister. I wish they didn't show the dead kids.
Okay.
I think it falls down a little. I think it would have been a little bit more effective if they weren't showing the ghosts. But again, fantastic performance by Ethan Hawke, and kind of courageous not to show his face for the vast majority of the film.
Yeah. I just read an article the other day where all the actors of at like early 90s time frame, they were all auditioning for the same things, and they would show up and see Ethan Hawke and they'd be like, shit, we're not getting this role. And it's Ethan Hawke. He's knocking it out the park. All right, Jessica, your final pick, ma'am.
I think for my final pick, it's also going to be a very new movie. Again, another release this year. That's going to be X.
Oh,
I just watched that yesterday.
I saw it like 2 weeks ago, and I saw it about a week before Pearl came out. So I immediately went and saw Pearl opening weekend, and it is not the greatest horror movie I've ever seen, but just watching it and all the different homages that are in there and nods to other movies, it's nothing but a fun movie, and it's definitely something I plan to rewatch soon. There are clever little red herrings in it about like what the deaths of certain characters are going to be, and so it's really it's right there on my list with Hereditary, where I want to go back now and watch it and try to pick up with it and pick up the first time.
Nice.
Right on. Carol, you checked out X?
Yeah. I liked it until they started doing stupid things. Smart characters doing stupid things in horror movies is a particular bug of mine in horror movies. And it was just, oh God. The guy who owned the stripper just walking out into a working farm in nothing but his skivvies. And I'm like, what are you do it.
I loved
it.
Tasteful
But,
thickness.
I am curious to watch Pearl because I didn't love X, I did recognize that it's a very well-made film.
Yeah.
And Mia Goth is very good.
Yeah, I thought X was good, not great. I think Pearl is great. So make sure you checks that out. Jessica, your final list: Poltergeist, The Shining, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser, Two Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Halloween, The Omen, The Lost Boys, Black Phone, and X. How are you feeling about this list?
I like it.
Yeah, you think it's a solid contender?
I think so.
All right then. All right then. We will see how you do, ma'am. Carol, your final pick, please.
Okay, I'm going to choose just a personal favorite of mine. I'm going to go with REC or Rec.
Oh,
Probably the best found footage film made.
mhm.
It's a Spanish film, so it's foreign. I suggest watching this instead of the American remake Quarantine. But yeah, it's an incredibly claustrophobic. You have the fast zombie. Here they're rabies. They're carrying an intense strain of rabies. It's very graphic, and it makes sense why somebody is keeping the camera on, which is rare in a found footage film. That there is a decent reason why the camera is still on.
I had no idea that Quarantine was a remake of anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rec
okay.
is a far superior film. It's strange because they did kind of a shot for shot remake only
Mhm.
in English, but Rec is still the far superior film because the acting is so much better.
Right on. What's your thoughts on Wreck there, Mia?
That's the best found footage movie ever. So good pick on that one. I just didn't. I would have had it on my list if I'd have kind of gone that direction. It just kind of felt out of place in my list. But
Yeah, I had
yeah,
several weird ones in number 10. So
and it's found footage and it's a zombie movie. So
There you go. Double whammy on you.
yeah.
All right, Carol, your final list is The Thing, The Exorcist, Jaws, Train to Busan, Hereditary, Silence of the Lambs, The Descent, The Fly, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Wreck. What do you think?
I like that.
You
That's
like
a good
that?
lineup.
I think it's a pretty good lineup. We will see how it is you fare in the polls here. Leslie, Ms. Ellsworth, this is your final pick, ma'am. Where are you going?
I'm gonna end it with with another classic. 1968 George Romero, Night of the Living Dead. Black and white, tense, and it's just people losing their shit in this house. With such a dark ending. Just it's so bleak. But yeah, just classic, fantastic zombie movie.
Great zombie movie. It kicks off one of the best franchises of horror movies there is in The Living Dead, and all the wonderful practical things that Romero is able to do. And of course, the wonderful social commentary of Black dude can do everything right and still get clapped out at the end by the cops. It's a way to say something without saying something, being too obvious about it. It's right there under the surface. Mia, this is the final. Oh, I'm sorry, Leslie, your whole list here.
I was like, I don't get the rundown.
Midsummer, Psycho, The Vivitch, 28 Days Later, Scream, the original, It Chapter 1, Misery, American Psycho, Possessor, and Night of the Living Dead. What are your thoughts?
I feel decent about it.
All right then. Decent. Overwhelmingly
it's-
confident.
I love the list. For me, I have no idea how Pop Ricans are going to feel about the list. Hopefully they enjoy it.
Carol nods her agreement because she knows that Pop Rican sometimes make terrible choices And there are a lot of one issue voters out there. I'm not saying there's any one issue voters here on this current lineup. There might be. All right, then, Mia, the final choice is yours.
If Leslie went classic, I'm going back to modern. I'm going with the 2020 version of The Invisible Man.
Oh,
Nice.
It's a horror and thriller, and to me it's really a character study of what happens to a person when they've been exposed to such narcissist abuse.
yeah. It is possibly Elizabeth Moss's best work, at least for me. It's her best work.
I agree.
We get a lot of what I call the Elizabeth Moss face all throughout this movie, and amazing effects the way they film certain things, especially the fight
The
scenes.
high-tech invisible suit.
Yeah, the high-tech invisible suit. There's a lot to love in this movie. Jessica, what did you check out the 2020 Invisible Man?
I did.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
I agree. It is really good there. All right. The final list for you, Mia. Get Out, Alien, Carrie, the Suspiria remake, Cabin in the Woods Audition, the remake of Candyman, Saw, The Green Room, and this latest, The Invisible Man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. That is a true list to myself. I'm being genuine to myself. And if you like slashers, you're probably not going to pick this list, but
The cat has chimed in with apparently his own thoughts. Hello, Jessica's cat. Hopefully you can vote there. All right, that is it for the entire horror movie draft. Hopefully you all enjoyed this. I am very curious to see how this turns out, man. Thank you once again to Carol Coles, Leslie Ellsworth over there, Jessica White, mighty Mia Davis. That is it. We will see you in 2 months for the final draft of the year. The comedy draft is a nice little mirror to the horror draft here. That is it. You all take it easy out there and have a good one.
I mean, I'm only barely Leslie Ellsworth right now.